Hello, my name is Blaine, aka the Plaid Lad, and I'm here with another gear review video for you guys. This one is for a trip I have coming up in a little less than 2 weeks to Isle Royale National Park. For those of you who are not familiar, Isle Royale is an island, actually it's an archipelago, look it up, that's about 90 miles north of Michigan's Upper Peninsula in Lake Superior. And I will be on that trip. I will ideally be on the island for about 5 days. This is not going to be an ultralight trip, an ultralight loadout. There's going to be a lot of camp time on this trip, so I feel like it's more worth it to bring a little bit more weight. I will have my lighter pack linked in the description box below with all of the weights and links to most of the items in there. If I remember correctly, my base weight is just under 17 pounds, and my total weight with everything here is about 32.6 pounds, if I remember correctly. So I'll start off with what's on the outside of my pack and work my way in. However, first off, I will be using these Black Diamond Trail Ergo trekking poles. I've been using these since about November. I've been absolutely loving them. It's kind of hard for me to find trekking poles that are tall enough for me. I'm about 6'2", about 205 pounds. Some of the trekking poles don't extend up to what I need them to be. They've done me pretty good, except while I was here at this park one of the last times, I did slightly bend one of my tips. I have replacement tips. I might replace it before the island, or I might gamble. We'll find out. Those can sit there. Alright, so my pack for this trip is the Superior Wilderness Designs Long Haul 50. Now that 50 only refers to the internal pocket here is 50 liters. The total liters on this pack is 62. This is a Michigan company. I've used this pack on about 4 or 5 trips. I do love it. There's a lot of customization options on there. I'll probably do a review on this pack somewhere further on down the line, but I'm not going to go into too much detail on it right now. So starting with what's on the pack, first thing is I have the Y strap, which is removable. You can have no strap on top, or a single strap, or 2 single straps if you like, but I went with the Y strap. This is my hammock that I'm going to be using on the island. This is the Dutchware Chameleon, and I do have the sidecar on it. On my last trip I tried out the side sling, and I liked it, but I don't think it would work out great for this trip. So I went back with the sidecar. Right here I have the Lycra front pocket, and there's actually 2 front pockets on this. I'll go into that detail later. But I have my water filter, which is the Platypus Quickdraw. I have, first aid kit. I have my rain jacket, which is the Zpacks Ventus rain jacket. A lot of people say that jacket wets out, but I've never had it wet out on me. This is what I call my emergency kit. This just basically has gear repair supplies, extra lighter, fire starter, Aquamira tablets, clothesline, extra lines for my tarp, that kind of stuff. Right here is my tarp. The weather is pretty unpredictable, being in the middle of Lake Superior, so I wanted a full coverage tarp. This is the UGQ Winterdream 12 tarp with the snaps on the door. So this is a winter tarp. It's super heavy. It's about 1.5 pounds, but it gives me the most coverage out of anything that I have, and on this trip that's very important to me, so I am willing to carry the extra weight. So, see, yeah, that covers everything in the main front pocket, but if you look here, there is a secondary pocket. I think he calls it his Milo pocket, that goes about halfway down this main compartment, and that just makes it so there's some things that don't slide to the bottom of the pocket. So I have some things I want to keep really handy, one being my poop kit in there, my hammock suspension, which is the Myers Tech polyester Dyneema blend Beckett hitch suspension, and I have my tarp stakes, just that way if I have to pitch the tarp quick, if there's like a storm or something and I'm on the trail, I have all of that stuff quick and ready to go. So that's all stuff that I don't really care gets wet. This is a Dyneema poop kit bag from Space Bear Bags I got on Garage Grown Gear, and this is a Dyneema first aid kit thing that I got from Light AF. This here is my Garmin inReach Mini. This is the inReach Mini 1, not the inReach Mini 2. I've been using it for about 2 years. It's going to be pretty vital on this trip. I'm going with 3 other people. We all have either Garmin inReach Mini or an inReach Mini 2. This way we can text each other if we get separated, or if one of us has an accident, we can hit the SOS button and hopefully somebody can come and save us. Hopefully that won't have to happen. And then this here is a little Bluetooth thermometer. I like it because it gives me the temperature and the humidity, and because it's Bluetooth, it connects to my phone, and I can check the temperature without having to actually get up, get out of my hammock, and look at a thermometer that I have posted outside. And then on the bottom here, I have my Helinox Chair Zero, and that's in a Dyneema stuff sack from Hilltop Packs that I had custom made. It's red buffalo plaid. I did have a picture of me on there and my trail name, but it didn't show up too great in the printing. But that's on me because I went ahead and made the design by myself instead of having them do it for me, which is a service they provide. Sorry if there's any wind noise here. It's supposed to storm a little bit later today, and I don't have a really good mic set up yet, so apologize in advance if you're getting some wind noise. So that's everything on the front or the back of the pack, depending on who you're talking to. In the side pockets here, I have my one of my smart water bottles, or this is Life Water. I might start with this full on the island, I might not. I'm looking at the maps. I'm going to hit a lot of water sources on my way to my first campsite, which will be at Daisy Farm, leaving from Rock Harbor. So I might have this just be empty in my pack for the first day, which would bring me down to a little over 30 pounds, which is kind of where this pack shines, is 30 or below. However, I have had loads up to about 42 pounds in this pack, and it has handled it very well. Then right here I just have my little Ultrapod for the GoPro. On this side, these are the Mayfly Imago flip-flops. I don't love these things, but I already kind of have more weight than I would like for this loadout. So I went with these because they only weigh like 2 ounces, which I wear a size 12 to 13 shoe depending on the brand. Being able to have that, have it only weigh 2 ounces is pretty much unheard of. And this way I can air out my feet at the end of the night. It does have some little bits of grippies on the bottom, although oh, it looks like mine have fell off and I just realized that. So never mind that, no grippies. Terrible traction, but I'm hoping hoping these will still pan out okay for this trip. Haven't been doing camp shoes lately, but they are nice to have. Then this here is my cook kit. For the most part, this is the Jetboil Stash. And here I have my fuel can, my mini Bic lighter and the stove itself. It comes with a canister stand, but I think it's kind of superfluous, so I don't bring it, and it saves me like 0.7 or 0.9 ounces. So normally I use an alcohol stove, but there was a forest fire on Isle Royale a few weeks ago. NPS thinks it's due to somebody making an illegal campsite, having an illegal campfire, but with the alcohol stove, with the alcohol stove being more likely to cause a forest fire, for my conscience, it's worth the extra 2 ounces from my alcohol stove setup. Alright, hip belt pockets. These are pretty nice hip belt pockets on here. You can open them with just one hand. Pretty easy. You can reach them fairly easily. In this one, my left one here, I just have a little bit of sunscreen and a couple containers of insect repellent lotion. I don't know how bad. I'll be on the island September 12th. I have no idea how bad the bugs will be at that point, but definitely don't want to get mauled by bugs. I'm also going to be treating pretty much all of my clothing and gear with permethrin spray, so that will help as well. See, right here I have a little rag from REI. It's like a microfiber cloth. This is to wipe sweat off my face while I'm hiking, and I'll use this to wipe down any condensation inside or outside of my tarp in the morning as well. I have a little bottle of hand sanitizer here. Usually when I'm on trail, if I just have to go number one, I just step off, 50 to 100 feet, go behind a tree. I don't take my pack off or anything. I just whip it out and let it out and use this and get back on the trail after returning everything to its proper place, of course. This is a cell phone pocket from Chicken Tramper Ultralight Gear. This is also a Michigan company. This has a Lycra mesh pocket on the front, so I'll keep a little snack in there, chapstick in there, and then keeps my phone in there. It fits in there perfect even with the pop socket, which I'm a big fan of having the pop socket, and that is a iPhone 13 Pro. And then this pocket here, this is a Lycra water bottle holding pocket. It holds the 700 milliliter sized water bottles best, but I like having my water bottle up front on my chest. I like the 700 bottle because then it's not really up in my face all that much, and this holds it in there pretty securely with the shock cord. I don't know if I like it quite as much as the Waymark water bottle pockets, but it's pretty close. It's pretty hard to call it there. And that covers. Oh, I got one more hip belt pocket. At this time, I really don't have much in there. This will probably be empty most of the trip, quite honestly. But right now, I just have my neck knife. I'm going to keep it in there until I get on the island because I don't want this to fall off my sternum strap, where I usually put it on with a prusik knot. I don't want that to come off on the ferry. And then I just have the rubber tips for my trekking poles in there. I'll probably keep the rubber tips for the trekking poles in there because I do put those back on if I'm using those to fortify my tarp. Oh, and I guess, yeah, there's this pocket here too. This has my sleeping pad. It's a closed cell foam sleeping pad. I use that in the foot box of my top quilt while I'm sleeping, because I use a partial underquilt and I'm quite partial to them. And that just has a little insulation to my feet if need be, and it's the pad for my back while I'm wearing my pack, so it's dual purpose. That's from Mountain Laurel Designs. It's their Good Night EVA 1/8 inch closed cell foam pad. I have two of these. I have one that's a little bit bigger, but this one fits better in my pack, and it ends up being way more than I need as far as keeping my feet, my legs warm at night. I've used it down to like -2 in my pack, in my foot box, and it's kept me warm, so I do trust that quite a bit. And now we'll start getting into the goodies. pack has the side compression straps. Those are removable. I prefer having those. Alright. Right here is my ditty bag from Hilltop Packs. I kind of went through this in my last gear loadout video. Not much is different except the battery bank I'm using is that Nitecore. I forget what they call it, but it's like the lightest 10,000 milliamp hour battery bank on the market right now. And then I have my hang time hook in there, and a couple sets of earplugs. I always sleep with earplugs, even at home. I try to sleep as close as I do at home on the trail, as close to that as I can get. I usually sleep with a sleep mask even at home too, but on the trail I'm just going to use the Buff, which is in my fanny pack. I do have my fanny pack here, also from Hilltop Packs. Not much has changed in here since my last gear loadout video. The only real extra thing that I have in there that wasn't in there before is a set of rain gloves from Zpacks, so I'm not going to bother unpacking all of that. This here is my food bag. That is the Ursack Allmitey. So this is rodent proof and bear proof. Now you might be asking yourself, Blaine, there's no bears on Isle Royale. Why are you bringing a bear proof sack? Well, I got it more so for its capacity and the rodent proofness of it. You're not supposed to hang your food on Isle Royale. You're supposed to sleep with it with you in your tent, but I'm not using a tent, so I'm probably gonna just tie this to a tree pretty adjacent to my hammock setup wherever I'm hanging that night, and have it be right there. But they say rodents and stuff are really good at getting into food bags, so since this is rodent proof, I'm good to go. And I'm not going to unpack all this now. I am planning on making another video with my whole food loadout. And there is a couple of other pieces of gear in here that I just don't feel like getting out right now. So you'll just have to subscribe and watch that next video. So that's my food. It's about 10 pounds worth of food in there, maybe just a little less. Let me see here. So I have 2 clothing bags here. This one is all the stuff that's going to get smelly. So basically it's just my underwear and my socks. And the reason I'm doing it this way is I don't want it to get my quilts or my other clothes smelling extra right. But I'm just going to be using these very short inseam, very sexy, pair of Thieves synthetic underwear. I've got another set that I'll be wearing. I'm just going to rotate every day. Might rinse these off, clean them every other day. I have a little bottle of Camp Suds here in my poop kit. So I might do a little laundry while I'm out there using this stuff sack, using leave no trace principles, of course. And then for socks, I just have these Injinji Socks. I prefer these in the summertime. In the winter, I use Darn Tough, just because they're a little bit warmer. But that's all the clothes that can get smelly, extra smelly. Alright. And then for my camp clothes, I have Smartwool liner gloves here. These are like a wool polyester blend. Right now, looking at the weather, it's only going to get down into like the mid-50s at night, but the only thing that's predictable about the weather on Isle Royale, from what I've been led to believe, is that it is unpredictable. So I am going to plan for colder instead of warmer, and then hopefully just be pleasantly surprised. I have this little polar fleece beanie from Zpacks. It only weighs an ounce, super to super warm. Just in case of that. Then I have a set of Darn Tough mountaineering socks. These go right up over my calf. So these are super warm. These are usually my winter sleeping socks. And I'll put those over the wind pants that I keep in my fanny pack if I end up needing something longer. I have my Dutchware laundry shorts again on this trip, and I can put the wind pants on over these if my legs get a little cold. And then with these socks, I've been warm down in that system down to like the mid 40s, so I'm pretty confident with that. Now that works just for me, might not work for you. You gotta find out what works for you. And then for my camp shirt, I did decide I am gonna go with the Outdoor Research Astroman Sun Hoodie. It did work out really nice on my last trip as a camp shirt, and then I hiked out in it the next day. And I'll probably end up hiking out in it on my last day on Isle Royale too. So I like having that little Napoleon pocket. It's worth the extra ½ an ounce from my normal Smartwool t-shirt that I use as a camp shirt. So. And then this is also in a stuff sack from Hilltop Packs. Alright, what other goodies do I have in here? Ah yeah. This is the Dutchware hammock chair that I use as a gear sling to hold my pack and shoes and stuff. Hang that under the hammock. We got a pack liner in here. This is where I keep my sleep system. I don't use stuff sacks for my sleep system most of the time. I just shove it in one of these. I seam sealed this pack, and the material is waterproof, and I seam sealed it, so it's pretty darn close to waterproof. So I've got 2 layers of waterproofness between the water and my down. Oh, actually this isn't part of my sleep system. This is what I'm going to be using as a puffy jacket on this trip. This is the Outdoor Vitals Ventus hoodie. This is by far my favorite piece of gear of any category. This is so versatile. I've hiked in this in -10, and I've hiked in it at 40 degrees, and depending on what base layer system you've got going on, it'll keep you warm. And I have had this on at camp, just sitting around down to like the mid 30s, and it's kept me warm. If I get a little cold, I can always add the raincoat or my wind jacket, either above or underneath this, and that'll keep me nice and warm. And this is a 2XL, and it weighs 9.1 ounces, so it's lighter than any fleece I have, and it's an ounce lighter than my Enlightened Equipment Torrid Apex pullover jacket. It's not as warm as that, but I don't think I'll need that level of warmth on this trip. And this condenses a little smaller too, so I'm going to go with this. For my top quilt, I am using the UGQ Bandit. This is a 20-degree version of it. I have the foot box that opens up. If it ends up being a little warm for this, I'll open this up and I can make it like a blanket. I have not done that with this quilt yet, but I have done that with my Enlightened Equipment quilt. It's got the draft collar on it. I'll be pretty toasty warm. I've taken this down to 25 degrees just sleeping in base layers and possibly sometimes the Ventus hoodie, and I've been completely toasty, so can't say enough good things about this. And it's yet another Michigan brand, so supporting Michigan as much as I can. And this here is the partial underquilt I use. This is a 20-degree War Bonnet Yeti underquilt. The thing I really like about this is that it's supposed to fit on a War Bonnet quilt only, which I have the Blackbird and I've used it with that before. You're not supposed to be able to use it with any other hammock, but I do. All I did was buy these little S-beaners off of Amazon. That's the only adaptation I've made. And then this is a no-fuss underquilt. You don't have to fiddle with it, adjust it, or anything. You just put it on, you get in the hammock, set it to where you're going to sleep, and you're good for the whole night. And if you need to vent it, you just push it up a little bit behind your head, and that vents it out. The National Park Service recommends bringing a 20-degree setup for Isle Royale, so I am following their recommendations on this. It's a little heavier, a little bulkier than my summer setup, but I'd much rather be too warm than too cold. For my pillow, I have the Dutchware Argon pillow. Has this nice little ring here that I attach a mitten hook to in the hammock, and keeps it in place. It's a little small. I wish it was just a little bit longer that way, but it gets the job done for me. Now, not all of Isle Royale is hammock friendly. I'm going to try to hang as much as possible, but there is a chance I'm going to have to go to the ground. In case I have to go to ground, one of the things I have is a Hammock Gear Dyneema ground cloth that I'll put underneath my sleeping pad. And then, just in case, that's the pad strap for the top quilt. I'm bringing a Climate Inertia Ozone. I've never spent the night on this before. I'm hoping I won't have to on this trip, but I wanted an inflatable pad. This is the lightest one in my budget that I could find. I'll put my closed cell foam pad underneath this to give it a little bit more warmth. Hopefully I don't have to go to the ground, but I'd rather have this and get a good night's sleep if I have to go to the ground than not have it. Is it packing my fears a little bit? Probably, but in this instance, I'm okay with it. It's gonna be pretty remote. You know, it's not like I can hop in the car and run up to REI and pick something up and go back. I'd rather just have this with me. This weighs about 13 ounces, and it has a pillow built in, so what do you know? And the only other thing I really have in here is I have this little Dyneema zipper sack that does have a couple extra rolls of toilet paper in. Got this from Myers Tech Hammock Lab on Etsy. On accident, when I had ordered the suspension system, he sent me this. I emailed him right away, said, hey, you accidentally sent me the wrong thing. He was totally cool about it and said, oh, I'm sorry, that's my bad. Keep the zipper sack and I'll send you what you were supposed to get. And I got it like 2 days later, so excellent customer service from Jeff Myers, can't recommend it enough. But yeah, that covers pretty much everything that I'm bringing with me. Again, it's gonna be a 5-day trip. I'm getting super excited for it. I might have overpacked a little bit, but on this trip, in this instance, I would rather overpack than underpack. It's my first time going out to the island. I've been researching it for 2 years. Based off of that research, that's why I went with this gear list. So hopefully you guys found some value in this, and keep your eye out for some more Isle Royale related content. And until then, I'll see you on the next one.